bright out. Anyway, I'll be replacing the carb on Izzy the Isetta. We love us some Izzy. There's Fiona. You recognize her from another video. That's a hot mess we gotta tackle again later. Anyway, this is an Izzy video, so let's stick with Izzy. Alright, little Miss Izbiz. This is her carburetor. She's a Bing carburetor, similar to a 4-stroke British motorcycle, because basically the Isetta is a single-cylinder dirt bike for all intents and purposes. Very, very similar. Anyway, first things first, we're going to take the fuel bowl off, you know, for the filter and all that, inlet. I'm going to take off the intake tube. Then we're going to get in here and do our cables, which it's hard to see, but we unthread this here, slide out the piston, unhook it to put it on the new one. Well, you'll see it all here. So don't sweat it too much. All right, our air intake tube and our fuel bowl, well, fuel filter housing rather, are loose and off. We're gonna pull these two nuts here and here, pull the carb off the flange, then when it's hanging down, we'll get our cables out and ready to swap. Okay, now we have our carburetor unbolted. We're gonna undo the top here, get our cable off of our throttle barrel, and then we will get our choke cable situated as well and pulled off, and we will put them on our new carb. All right, here's our old carb all pulled off. This is what resides in the choke chamber. You need to undo this right here, which is 10 millimeter, right there. And inside it would be your cable with this spring on it, that collet, and then your cable in this right here. This collet holds the cable on with the spring, and that's what actuates your choke. Your throttle, same type of situation here. It's like your throttle, it's like a piston. You got the needle. Put the needle through. You get the idea. All this jazz lives in here. The spring goes on top. Your piston with your needle, just for example purposes. And then with your cable, and your cable lives in the piston here. Goes through this hole and locks in here. You'll see it on the new one as well. Here is our new one. We will be handling first things first. For the throttle. Had to add that sound effect. But as you can see how your cable goes, that's going on next. This here is our throttle cable. We're going to be putting it in our new carb. We'll follow it up with the choke as well. We worked our magic, got our throttle cable all situated. Gonna do our choke cable. It has this little length in it for shipping. Make sure nothing comes apart. So we're gonna take care of that. Okay, we've accomplished the choke slide assembly, which is like a 3-handed job. It took a pair of needle nose and vice grips and holding it, but we got it. So now we just set that back in our carb, and we mount our carb up, and away we go. All right, carburetor's all mounted up on Izzy the Isetta. We're gonna go fire her up and then make some adjustments. So basically, let's start from scratch. Okay, here is your gas piston. It has the needle. Here's your needle, and here's the ring. Ring's got a hole. in the piston there's a titty. You put the ring through and put the titty through the hole. That chills for a second. Here's your cable. This would be on your car. Your ring. Then we take our housing end. We try to push this damn cable through. There we go. See? Cable through with ring. Put your spring like so. Grab your piston. Make sure your chingadera is still on the titty. On the bottom of the piston right here, there's a hole. You put your cable through the hole and lock it like so. Then you take your notch. And that's basically... Okay, your throttle piston is assembled. Okay, now you take... You see this notch here on the side, and then there's a notch here on the piston, a little tit. You're gonna slide that into there, down like so. See? And then you tighten it up. Then you can see, got everything hooked up. And there's your cable. This would be on your car. It's all in there. I wish I had 3 hands, because then I could pull the cable and be like vroom vroom, but I need 2 hands. But there's how that goes together. Let me show you how to assemble the choke. There's basically how your choke's assembled in layman's terms. This collar goes over the end of the cable and helps retain the cable on the collet here. Collar retaining it. There's the spring. That all goes together like that. And then that mess of goodies goes in right here on your carbonator. That there carbonator. Carburetor. Carbonator. Depends what part of the country you're from. Of course, part of the country where they talk like that, they probably don't even know what an Isetta is. And then that threads in there, and little Miss Izzy running like a champ. I'm gonna go test drive her, and we should be good to go. Okay, so we're all high idle goofy. We turn off. Fire back up. Idling nice and low where we're supposed to. The second I touch the pedal, we go into high idle nutcase. I can't like pull it back. Idling. We've had a problem with the idle hanging up. Better. Alright, so our idle's not hanging up right now. We're gonna go drive little Miss Izzy and see if she behaves herself. mucho better.